In this video, I'm gonna share with you 5 things I've learned about printing pictures, from the very basics to some less known insights. I'll start with the basics, of course, and then I'll share a tip that I learned recently for when we don't have sharp pictures. Hi, I'm Cesar, and as a product manager who also creates content, I'm on a mission to create smarter, not harder. So join me as I share what works, what doesn't, and everything in between. First, let's hold on for a second and start with the why of printing pictures. I've been doing photography for years, primarily in the digital world, and as a kid growing up in the 90s, of course, I took some pictures with my dad's camera, and those pictures ended up being printed, but I don't consider this part of my photography journey. Now, after deciding to print a couple of pictures out of curiosity, something felt different. Printing offered me something that the digital world cannot really provide: the ability to touch something that we have just created. Holding a photo in our hands in the real world can evoke different, deeper emotional responses. It just feels different, even if the print is small. So I would say that even if you're not looking to sell your prints or display them in an exhibition, just give it a try and print some pictures. I'm pretty sure that it will spark something in you and you will be tempted to take extra steps. Now onto the actual tips. First of all, don't get a printer right away, or ever. Why? Because you need to test things out. In my work as a product manager, one of the constants is to start small, get feedback, and take the next step with more information. So basically, reducing uncertainty. This is exactly what you need to do here, and it will be a constant theme in the next tips that I'm gonna give you. There are many options for printers, and if you make a big commitment right off the bat or start a big investigation online to find out what the best printer is, what the best ink is, and so on, it will just take you away from actually starting. Use the services that are already out there. Look up and support your local photo studio by visiting their website or getting in touch with them. Or now that we're talking about the physical world, just get out of the house and walk there. Crazy idea, right? So just ask them, hey, can you print my pictures for me? And they will be pretty happy to help you, and maybe a little bit weirded out because not a lot of people are actually printing pictures nowadays, except those doing film photography. In any case, go out there and they will present you with an avalanche of options. This is where the idea of just getting it started comes into play. Just pick something that feels okay. Glossy paper or matte paper doesn't really matter, and also a size that's not super big in the beginning. Something like A4 may be a good starting point. The whole point here is that you need to see the results. Once you see them, you will use that as an anchor, and you will decide if that's good enough, or if you need to make a change and print again. Once you're here, congratulations, you've taken the first step, and that's super important because it gets you into the process and builds momentum. And since we're talking about paper, this brings me to the second point. Start with paper. Nowadays, many websites have systems or applications to help you with the print and request process. They will offer you printing options not only on paper, but also on many out of the ordinary materials. You will see prints on glass, metal, and some other crazy options. To be honest, I've seen many obscure materials and they look amazing, but let's start with paper, shall we? If you're a beginner, you don't really want to start printing on glass, then to only find out that the photo wasn't good enough. You're just getting your feet wet. This also reminds me that in terms of sizes, maybe don't go for the biggest one right away. You can validate first if the type of paper and how it looks is nice enough, and then you can increase or decrease the size of the print after that. Next point is about the export settings in the editing process, specifically resolution. 300 dpi is usually recommended for the sharpest prints. However, after some research, especially watching this video right here by Sean Tucker and Lynn Taro, I realized that we may not need to print at such high dpi. You see, the bigger the print, the further away you'll likely be viewing it, which will make having an extremely high resolution unnecessary in some cases. If your picture is good, you won't care as much about the dpi. Another important aspect here is cropping. So I've printed cropped pictures larger than usual to test if that would actually impact quality, and I spent time and money on this to see if it worked. I printed 2 pictures. One was heavily cropped and the other one not so much. Both were printed in different sizes, 10 by 12.5, 20 by 25, and 40 by 50 centimeters. I expected the cropped pictures to actually look bad, especially in larger sizes, but they actually look great. And by the way, the cameras that I used for the crop picture was the Ricoh GR3, while for the less cropped image I used the Sony a6700. Neither of these cameras is known for their high resolution, having about 20-something megapixels each, but that wasn't really a problem at all. This test right here gave me the confidence to start my printing journey and double down on it. Right now, I'm putting some of my most engaged pictures from the last quarter on my website as a limited drop for anyone to order prints. So if you follow me on Instagram and like my work, check out my website link in the description to order prints. Now on to tip number 4. There is no correct answer to what's best. Printing pictures is an extremely subjective part of our art, just as it should be. One print will never be the same for me as it is for you, because we may be shooting different things, with different cameras, under different light sources, and many other variables that you may take into account and I may not, and the other way around. Well, on top of this, we have the extra layer of subjectiveness that art has. It makes the process personal and very unique. What we need to see is a combination of our style and type of physical media that works best. I cannot stress this enough. We just need to start. Now moving on to the fifth point, let's talk about paper. Even though a few moments ago I told you to just start with paper, there's one thing I've learned in this journey: glossy paper makes the image look sharper. And this could be used as a trick. For example, if you've used a lower megapixel camera, or the print is too big, or if you're cropped the image, glossy paper can help compensate a little bit. Apparently, the creation of glossy paper was actually done to have sharper prints. I realized this while making this video, and it was a very nice surprise because that's actually what I saw in real life. Surprise, surprise, who would have thought? The downside, though, is that glossy paper can be harder to look at depending on the light conditions that you have around the picture. If you have the picture in a place with a light source in front of it, whether it's a screen, the sun, or something else, you may not be able to fully enjoy your very sharp image. So it comes down to what you prefer, either to know that it's a sharp image and you cannot really see it, or to have a less than sharp image but actually get to see it. Keep in mind that there are options such as smooth matte paper that can be a good middle ground. This is where I circle back to mention goal testing measurements. One of the things I've learned in my career as a product manager is that we need to take that first step, put things out there, and improve them over time. In this case, our product is that picture. It's a physical product that you only iterate every time you create a new one, but it's a product nonetheless. The whole point here is that you need to get feedback from your user. In this case, the user is you, at least for the quality of the print. Once you get that feedback, see how that goes and print the next one implementing those changes. In general, I like to introduce product management concepts and apply them to creating content. Before, I've talked about another important topic, experimentation, in this video right here, and I'm pretty sure that if you like this one, you'll enjoy that one as well. That's it for me. Thank you very much.